The Latino community is a huge driver of the U.S. economy. In 2021, Latino economic output alone hit $3.2 trillion, according to a new study. But despite all this, a significant percentage of U.S. Hispanics still manage their finances without traditional banks. Nitza Soledad Perez explains.
Some might find the statistics surprising, but close to 5% of U.S. households are unbanked, meaning no one in the home has a checking or savings account at a bank or credit union. And that number is a bit higher among Latinos. According to the most recent U.S. government survey, 8.4% of Hispanic households were unbanked, compared with 1.7% of white households, making between $30,000 and $50,000 a year. Miguel Rodriguez moved to the U.S. from El Salvador in 1985 and wants nothing to do with U.S. banks.
I took all my money out of the bank.
Why did you withdraw all your money?
Because they charged me $400 in fees I allegedly owed them. I said, I don't owe you a thing. You work with my money, and I took it all out.
High bank account fees are one reason people refuse to open a bank account. And the most common challenge for many of the unbanked is having enough money to meet the minimum balance requirements. And for the Latinos, there's a question about trust and bad memories of bank runs in Latin America. Latinos' immigration status is another issue.
People, they feel free to go, of course, to the bank because immediately they're going to request for the social security number.
But some Hispanic fintech entrepreneurs are attempting to address the needs of those intimidated by the traditional U.S. banking system and its rules. One solution is H-Way, short for the Hispanic way, allowing migrants to create digital bank accounts with a valid ID, no minimum account balance required, no maintenance fees, and cards that operate like regular ATM cards.
What we decided to do is help people in what they need the most. Get paid, put your salary in it, be able to save money, to send money home, to get paid a couple of days early because you put your direct paycheck with us, providing mechanisms to do saving, to make investments.
H-Way also provides money transfers at lower costs than traditional remittance services. A U.S. bank sponsors the program, and the money is insured up to $250,000. Seis is another digital account option for the Latino population.
Hoy queremos enseñarte qué es la tarjeta digital y cómo funciona.
This banking service is exclusively for Spanish speakers. These digital solutions provide options to the unbanked, but informing them about these services is another challenge.
People need to more education and more resource people that they're advocate to them to explain it to them how the economy in the United States works.
And that's important information since by 2050, Hispanics are on track to represent more than 25% of the U.S. population. Nitza Soledad Perez, CGTN, Miami.
For more insight into the unbanked population in the U.S., we're bringing in Marcelo Siles. He's a research specialist at Michigan State University. Good to see you, and thank you for coming on to the show. Explain to our audience what unbanked versus banked mean. I guess I'm referring to the traditional banking system.
Good night, Phil. First, thanks for your kind invitation to participate in your program. Well, regarding your question, unbanked households or persons mean those that do not have any type of transactions with the formal financial market. They don't have a credit card, a checking deposit, a savings account, credit card, transfer, anything to do with the formal financial markets.
Right. So I guess that leads me to my other question: is what's preventing certain demographics from getting a traditional banking account or checking account or credit card, and what, as I guess what you say, the traditional banking system, because there are a lot of options available out there.
Yeah, well, there are many factors that Hispanic households and persons face at the moment to deal with the formal financial market. First, many of these households or persons do not have the legal status in the United States, so they don't have a social security number, or they don't have any other type of document that allows the banks to accept them as their regular customers. That's number one. Second, even though they have some households, they have this legal status. The other reason is most of them do not speak English. So since banks do not have, well, they used not to have, recently they are hiring people that speak Spanish, it was very difficult for them to approach banks and start working with them. Third, his, during our studies, we found that many Hispanics are afraid to go to a bank office due to the bank structure, big columns, big halls. So they feel, especially farm workers, some farmers, or some people that work as electricians or mechanics. They are afraid to go to the agency.
Okay.
Another cause is that the banks do not have the appropriate schedule to serve these people. These people work from 8 to 6, and when they finish to work, the banks are closed.
Marcelo, what's a reasonable solution? I get it. They may not have, as you say, status or perhaps a tax ID number or social security number, so it makes it difficult. There's got to be a solution to this.
Well, the first solution, many banks already realize, is to hire staff that speak Spanish. First one. Second, make their schedule more flexible. They're supposed to be working until 8 p.m. perhaps, or they need to have opened their offices until 8 p.m. Some banks, we are preparing a project about that. Some banks and credit unions are willing to go where Hispanics are working right now. For example, farm workers. Farm workers receive every 2 weeks a paycheck. They come during the weekend, change their paycheck in one of at one store. They usually are charged between $9, $10, $12, and then part of that money they transfer to Mexico, to Central America. Now, the banks the program that we're trying to organize is the bank will go to the farm, collect that or change that checks into, not into cash. They are trying to offer debit cards for many reasons. First, there's less risks to lose the money. And third, they are incorporating step by step into the formal banking system. So every 2 weeks, they will deposit their money into their debit card, and people will get used to work with this banking instrument. Another reason will be to have less formal agencies, located in small, some of them
Right.
are already opening in small supermarkets, places where Hispanic usually go.
Well, look, Marcelo, it's obviously this is a very important topic to a very large demographic. I think we didn't have time to get into it, but I think getting access to a tax ID number would be step one to getting a more traditional account, I guess, set up. We'll save that for next time, but I certainly appreciate your explanation on the situation here. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right.